All right, so we're going to be talking about today 10 behaviors that keep you single.
Thank you for the jacket.
No problem. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, okay, let's get started, y'all. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Word of the day is cynical. Cynical is basically believing that people are motivated by self-interest and distrustful of human integrity or sincerity. So anytime somebody show you some kindness, even anytime that somebody is positive, you think that's a hidden agenda. Nobody is really positive. Nobody is really kind. So you have a cynical way of looking at life and a cynical way of looking at people, particularly good people. When you see a person acting toxic or negative, you're like, okay, well, that's what they're supposed to do. It's the positive people who you don't trust because you feel like the positive people are not being genuine. See, but that don't have nothing to do with people. That has to do with your outlook and your perspective on life, whether you see the glass half empty or half full. That's all in your head. And it comes from your past. Saying of the day, relationships are more about being the right person than it is about finding the right person. This talk is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional guidance, advice, treatment, or diagnosis. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, substance use or abuse, or suicidal thoughts, dial 988-988 is available 24/7 nationwide and staffed by trained crisis counselors who would just a text or call away. Number one, you have cynical views about love. You're distrusting of relationships. It's common for people who have been burned by love before to stop believing in healthy relationships. People who got burned by love, y'all start becoming cynical. All women cheat. You have every right to grieve when the relationship is over. Go to a point of you trying not to call them and make up with them. You're trying to force yourself not to go by. You're trying to force yourself not to go around the friends that y'all got in common so you don't run into them. That's grieving. You have every right to grieve, to feel hurt, and to learn from the experience. Now, this is the most important part that most people forget. You have every right to grieve, you have every right to feel hurt, and you have a right to learn from the experience. But being stuck in your negative outlook and dwelling on your pain, you're dwelling on your resentment, you're dwelling on your regret, is only going to hold you back from new and healthy opportunities to find someone who truly loves you for who you are. Because what you end up doing, you start spinning your wheels with that toxic relationship. So even though you're not still in it, you're still in it. You massaging the pain. You still got resentment towards that person.
13 years later.
Well, you got to get over it.
She won't get over me.
Okay, well, then you in a bad situation. Because it ain't about somebody not getting over me. Because you can't have access to me unless I give it to you. You don't get no access. Oh man, I can chop your head off when it comes to access to me. You don't get access to me if I don't want you to have it. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 2, you set unrealistic standards for your relationships. You're too busy watching social media. You're too busy watching TV and all these rom-coms. And you think that's supposed to show up in your life. Nowadays, we see so many pictures and posts online about couples who are relationship goals. That it may start to cloud your judgment and give you an unrealistically high standards. You might be turning down great dating prospects or throw away a special connection you have with someone just because it wasn't everything you hoped it would be. See, sometimes because we got low self-esteem and we don't even know it, we sabotage ourselves with good people and then we try to make it work with people who are less than those people because we think that's what we deserve. Just because your friend might not think she banging. So what? I don't care what they think. If you like her and she treats you good, pursue her. Not many people cancel out a good person because their friends didn't like them. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 3, you set too many deal breakers. If you have standards, you know what you want, and that's a good thing. But expecting too much too fast sets the scene for failure. You set yourself up for failure and disappointment. Never be so damaged as to call it quits and run away at the first sign of imperfection in another person. Just as you deserve a fair chance, so do they. In the end, healthy relationships deserve time and effort, and sometimes it's in the complete acceptance of an imperfect person that we find the kind of love that's meant to last. You just accept the person for who they are, and they accept you for who you are, opposed to trying to be in a relationship which will make you feel bad about who you are. Because if you have a problem with who that person is, get away from them. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 4, you have unresolved past trauma. You got unresolved past trauma, yet you keep trying to hop in and out of a relationship. And you just bleeding on people. Now all women are bad because you cut, you bleeding, and you haven't sat down to get yourself fixed. So it ain't you who have a problem. It's every woman in the world that's the problem. Nah, you cut, bro. Yeah, you have unresolved past trauma, whether it's a messy breakup, a toxic relationship, or an unhappy childhood. Your past can leave you with loads of painful memories and emotional scars that you often never really get over. We end up carrying that trauma with us throughout our lives and unknowingly allow it to ruin our relationships. Resolution, which means even though, okay, I was in a toxic relationship, but you know what? I made it out of it. I resolved to move forward. Acceptance. You have to accept that the relationship didn't work. There were some things I did that was wrong. There were some things that she did that was wrong. That's acceptance right there. Because you got to understand what you did on your side of the road. It's going to take resolution, acceptance, and being at peace with your past. A resolution and an acceptance to be able to say, you know what? I've been hurt in relationships. I had some people who lied to me and betrayed me, but I'm not giving up on women. I mean, are you going to give up on the ladies? I'm not. It's about, okay, what can I do better at this point? 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 5, you have low self-esteem. Yep. You can't love someone else until you learn to love yourself first. Don't get into no relationship hoping that you're going to love yourself better because hopefully this person's going to teach you how. No, you're going to fumble that person. That's not their job. When we suffer from low self-esteem, we tend to lose ourselves in our partner. So we get our self-esteem rooted into our partner. So you go out and get you a fine looking woman. And now you feel better because you got her. But your self-esteem is rooted into her. So when she betray you, when she break up with you, when she lied to you, then all of a sudden your self-esteem, which really wasn't self-esteem, because self-esteem has to be rooted in yourself. But if it's rooted in someone or something else, then the minute you lose that someone or something else, your self-esteem crashes. Because if my self-esteem is rooted in me, if it's rooted in me, the roots of my self-esteem are in me, and I meet me a fine woman and we start dating and going out and hanging out and doing the things that we doing, and I'm enjoying her, she enjoying me, then all of a sudden she breaks up with me or we break off or I find out she's been lying or I find out she's been cheating, I'm not going to crash because my self-esteem is rooted inside me. I still feel good about myself, even though that situation didn't work out. I gave it a good try. I'm trying to get to know you and then I find out later on you haven't been honest with me. There's no reason for me to be beating up on myself for that. Because I can't control you. And all that's going to do is say, you know what? Thank you, God. I found out. I appreciate it. Now I'm able to move on from that situation. When we suffer from low self-esteem, we tend to lose ourselves in our partner. Instead of developing our own sense of self, our partner is used as a substitute. Since you feel like you're unworthy of their love, you worry that they'll realize that you're unworthy of their love and eventually abandon you. The insecurity and negative self-talk makes this a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's the law of expectation. So if you meet somebody new and you expect for them to fail, guess what? That's the law of expectation. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 6, you have a fear of success. A fear of success is a fear of doing well. That's what the fear of success is. The fear of success involves being afraid of achievement, often to the point that people are subconsciously sabotaging themselves. We humans are strange creatures, and this is something that happens even though most of us aren't aware of it. Do you push people away before they can get close to you because having an honest, emotional connection with someone scares you? You may try not to get too attached and suppress your desire for connection so much that others may misunderstand and think you are inconsiderate, inconsistent, and uninterested. And the thing about it is that the other person, they're not going to know, oh, this is a reaction from all the toxic relationships you be in. They're just going to assume, oh, you just don't care. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 7, you have trust issues. See, but the thing about that is when you get into a toxic relationship, if you didn't walk away from that toxic relationship with some things that you can do better as a person, then you failed. Because you can't be sitting around talking about your toxic relationship, your ex, and it's all on them. No, it takes 2 to tango. Toxic people feel jealous about their partner being close with other people. It makes them uncomfortable to think of them going out without them. They need to go through their partner's phone and need to know where they are at all times just to feel normal. Nothing sabotages a relationship faster than a lack of mutual trust. Behaving like you don't trust them will cause your partner to grow resentful to you over time. No one likes being constantly controlled and under suspicion. It's not police. You're not on probation or parole. Come on. It's somebody you're supposed to be in a loving relationship with. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 8, you think you'll lose your independence by being in a relationship. The rom-com movies always say, you complete me, but that's toxic. Because can another person complete you? The rom-com movies always say you complete me, which isn't the healthiest of messages. The truth is the opposite. Remember this, in a healthy relationship, you should never have to sacrifice your personality. You don't have to sacrifice your independence or who you are for a romantic partner. Let me say it again. The reality is, in a healthy relationship, you should never have to sacrifice your personality, sacrifice your independence, or who you are for a romantic partner. The hallmark of every strong, enduring relationship is learning to maintain your independence while still being happily committed to someone. And that has to be both ways. Y'all have y'all space. And it's cool, but you're not trying to police nobody. See, that's what we do when we in high school, man. But the thing is, man, when you're young, bro, you're supposed to be immature when it comes to love. When we become adults, we ain't supposed to carry that into adulthood. We ain't supposed to be jealous because you're just having a conversation with somebody. But let me say this, though, at the same time, because a lot of people got cheating twisted. Cheating is anything you wouldn't do if your significant other was standing right next to you. And you probably shouldn't be doing it. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 9, you desire someone you can't or shouldn't have. Most of us are guilty of liking somebody against our better judgments, probably even more than once. Whether it's because they're already taken or emotionally unavailable, it's easy to fall for the wrong people, but obsessing over forbidden fruit closes off your ability to consider the more compatible and better suited people for you. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 10, and the final one, you don't learn from your mistakes. To keep doing something over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. Obsessive, you was obsessive?
One of us was, yes.
Well, you keep saying her, but it might be you then. Obsessiveness. He started off talking about how obsessed she was, ain't he? Wasn't he? It's coming out, man. You don't learn from your mistakes. To keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome is insanity. We all make mistakes. We're only human. But what mistakes have you made in your past relationships, and what have you learned from them? You believe you've never done anything wrong in past relationships. This may be the most toxic factor to your ability to find lasting relationships. Mistakes allow us to learn, mistakes allow us to grow, and mistakes allow us to be better the next time around. If there's no learning, the same mistakes are repeated and the same toxic cycle becomes endless. You have to learn what your part in the relationship was, what was your mistakes in relationships, and then you need to fix that, because if not, you're going to be in a toxic cycle and you're going to burn and you're going to cut everybody you try to get in a relationship with. Then you're going to be running around like some of these sick people talking about all women bad. 10 behaviors that keep you single. Number 1, you have cynical views about love. Number 2, you set unrealistic standards. Number 3, you set too many deal breakers. Number 4, you have unresolved past trauma. Number 5, you have low self-esteem. Number 6, you have a fear of success. Number 7, you have trust issues. Number 8, you think you'll lose your independence by being in a relationship. Number 9, you desire someone you can't or shouldn't have. And then the final one, number 10, you don't learn from your mistakes in relationships.